You're not broke because you don't make enough. You're broke because you've been programmed to stay broke. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You've gotten the raises, changed jobs, increased your income. Yet somehow that number in your bank account refuses to grow with it. That nagging feeling in your stomach when you check your account, the quiet panic when an unexpected bill arrives, the constant mental math before every purchase, they're not going anywhere until you fix what's really broken. And it's not your income that's broken. It's the invisible system that's programmed to drain whatever you make. Half of 2025 is gone. If nothing's changed, the problem isn't time. It's transformation. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly why increasing your income hasn't fixed your money problems, and the brain-based system that finally will. Let me ask you something that might feel uncomfortable. If your income went up 20% this year, would your financial stress actually go down 20%? For 86% of Americans, the answer is a brutal no. 33% of Americans have more credit card debt than emergency savings right now. Even more shocking? 65% of people making six figures are still living paycheck to paycheck. Let that sink in. 6 figures. Still stressed about rent. If more money isn't fixing the problem, what is? You already know the basics. Save more, spend less, invest early. But there's a massive gap between knowing and doing. And that gap has a name: your brain's money wiring. Your brain is literally working against your financial freedom in 3 specific ways. First, present bias. Your brain values immediate rewards about 3 times more than future benefits. When you think about saving for retirement or building an emergency fund, your brain actually processes that future you as a stranger. Science shows that the neural pathways activated when thinking about your future self are surprisingly similar to those activated when thinking about a completely different person. Ever wonder why it's so easy to spend on today's wants and so hard to save for tomorrow's needs? This is why. Your brain is literally prioritizing a coffee today over your freedom tomorrow. Second, lifestyle inflation. Your brain has a remarkable ability to normalize your current situation, no matter what it is. Studies show we adapt to income changes within just 3 to 6 months. That new salary feels normal. That bonus becomes expected. And your happiness baseline resets to your new normal, creating an endless treadmill of earning and spending. Third, the scarcity mindset loop. When you constantly feel like you don't have enough, your brain enters what researchers call a scarcity tunnel. This actually lowers your IQ by about 13 points and makes impulse control significantly harder. Sound familiar? Well, when you're stressed about money, you make worse decisions about money, which creates more stress about money. It's a vicious cycle that feels impossible to break. But what if I told you there's a way to hack this system? Not by fighting your brain's wiring, but by working with it. Here's what nobody tells you about wealth. It's not about how much you make. It's about how your brain processes what you make. Let me explain something fascinating. Researchers studied people across different income levels and found something surprising. People who felt financially secure weren't necessarily the highest earners. They were the ones who had specific money systems that worked with their brain chemistry, not against it. The wealthy, truly wealthy, don't rely on willpower or motivation. They don't even think about money the same way. They've built a relationship with money that creates security, not stress. They've rewired their brain's money pathways. And you can do the exact same thing. But first, we need to destroy some dangerous money myths that are keeping you broke in 2025. Myth number 1, more income will solve your money problems. The data doesn't lie. As income rises, expenses almost magically rise to meet it. A Northwestern Mutual study found that 52% of Americans say their income isn't keeping up with inflation across all income brackets. I worked with someone making $180,000 a year who couldn't afford a last-minute car repair, not because they lacked discipline, but because they trusted the wrong system. More money without better money systems just creates more expensive versions of the same problems. Myth number 2, budgeting means restriction and sacrifice. Budgets fail because they feel like diets, restriction without satisfaction. Real financial control isn't about restriction, it's about direction, not saying no to everything, saying yes to what actually matters. Myth number 3, you need financial expertise to build wealth. The wealthiest people I know don't have PhDs in finance. They have consistent systems that run on autopilot. How many times have you put off fixing your finances because it seemed too complicated? It's time to stop believing the myths and start using what actually works. After studying the psychology of money for over a decade, I've identified the 3 key systems that separate the financially secure from the constantly broke. I call this the MPS method, Money Psychology System. And unlike most financial advice, it works with your brain's wiring, not against it. System number 1, the memory reset account structure. Here's the problem. When all your money sits in one account, your brain sees it as one big spending pool. The solution? Money segregation with automation. Let me give you a simple setup. 1, an everyday spending account with only what you can spend this month. 2, a bills and necessities account for fixed expenses. 3, a freedom fund for long-term growth. 4th, a joy fund specifically for guilt-free spending. The critical piece, automate transfers on payday before your brain can make decisions. Harvard research shows that automation increases saving rates by 56% compared to manual transfers. When money moves without your intervention, your present bias can't sabotage your future. System number 2, the 48-hour pause protocol. Your brain's dopamine system gets triggered by potential purchases, creating an actual chemical addiction to spending. But this system can be hacked with a simple rule. For any non-essential purchase over $100, wait 48 hours. This isn't about saying no, it's about giving your prefrontal cortex, your rational brain, time to catch up with your limbic system, your emotional brain. Studies show this simple pause reduces impulse purchases by over 70%. Because most things you need right now feel completely different 2 days later. System number 3, the future self connection. Remember how your brain sees your future self as a stranger? Let's change that. Create a tangible connection to your future self through 1, a specific retirement vision, where, how, with whom. 2, regular future self check-ins using age progression photos. 3, naming your accounts based on future goals, not account types. 4, imagining the face of your 65-year-old self smiling in a paid-off home. Hear their peaceful sigh of relief as they check their accounts without anxiety. Stanford research shows that people who feel connected to their future selves save 30% more than those who don't. What would your 65-year-old self thank you for doing today? These 3 systems create what psychologists call a choice architecture that makes good decisions easier than bad ones. But systems alone aren't enough. You also need a new relationship with money itself. Your money problems didn't start with your spending habits. They started with your money story, the subconscious programming installed years before you had a bank account. Maybe you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that. Maybe you watched your parents struggle with finances. These experiences created your financial operating system, running beneath your conscious decisions. Until you update this operating system, no amount of budgeting advice will stick. I want you to try this powerful exercise right now. Complete the sentence. In my family, money meant. Now ask yourself, is that still true for you? Or are you living someone else's money story? Your relationship with money isn't fixed. It can be rewritten. The first step is recognizing that your worth isn't determined by your net worth. You're not broken. Your systems are, and systems can be fixed. Now, let's make this practical with a 30-day money reset challenge. What not to do. Don't overhaul your entire lifestyle in a week. Don't download 5 budgeting apps. Don't shame yourself into panic saving. Here's what to do instead. Week 1, brain-based audit. Days 1 to 3. Track every expense without judgment. Just data. Day 4 to 5. Identify your top 3 money leaks, recurring costs giving minimal value. Day 6 to 7. Set up your segregated accounts and automation system. Week 2, environment design. Remove stored payment information from shopping sites. Create a 24-hour rule for purchases over $50, 48-hour rule for purchases over $200. Delete shopping apps that trigger impulse spending. Set up account nicknames that connect to your future goals. Week 3, identity shift. Start a daily 2-minute wealthy mind visualization. Replace "I can't afford that" with "That's not where I choose to put my money right now." Begin weekly. Future self check-ins. Sundays work best. Week 4. System reinforcement. Schedule automatic transfers to match payday. Create one no-spend day each week to reset your dopamine system. Develop a money win journal to celebrate progress, not perfection. The key is progressive success, not perfection. Each small win rewires your brain to associate money management with positive feelings rather than restriction or shame. And here's the beautiful part. This entire system requires less than 20 minutes per week to maintain once it's set up. Because true financial freedom isn't about constant vigilance. It's about engineering an environment where good decisions happen automatically. Let's be honest with each other one more time. The reason you've been stuck in financial stress isn't because you're lazy or stupid or bad with numbers. It's because you've been trying to solve a brain problem with budget solutions. The truth is, your relationship with money is just that, a relationship. And like any relationship, it can be healed. It can become a source of security instead of stress, of freedom instead of fear. The journey from broke to financially secure isn't about deprivation. It's about liberation. Liberation from the constant worry. Liberation from the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Liberation from letting yesterday's money stories dictate tomorrow's possibilities. Financial freedom isn't just about having more, it's about needing less, fearing less, comparing less. It's about building a life where money becomes a tool for your dreams, not a source of your nightmares. And that journey begins with a single decision. The decision to rewrite your money story. Starting today. The next 24 hours are critical. This is your financial turning point. Comment below with one money leak you're fixing this week. For me, I can think of a few. My Uber Eats addiction, unused subscriptions draining me, emotional Amazon shopping. This isn't just a comment, it's your first transformation domino. The first decision rewires the next 5. Subscribe for more MindX Money insights that bridge the gap between knowing and doing. Imagine 3 days from now. What if you finally felt different when you looked at your balance? Well, that future starts today. Every financial mistake has been a lesson preparing you for this moment. The moment you decide that being broke is a situation, not your destiny. If this helped you see money differently, share this with someone who needs a new story too.